I'll take any questions. Just looking forward to this week and, having our guys prepare well and be ready to play against a team that's really explosive and especially on the offensive side, have some really good athletes and looking forward to the game against Liberty. Hugh Freeze is an amazing coach. And his staff is well coached. They have a lot of experience. So they've been in a lot of different places and done a lot of things in college football. So looking forward to that matchup.
Do you have any update on Jaren's status or Zach's status?
No, I'm not at this moment. No, we're still day to day. So pretty much, we'll find out day to day.
So last week, Zach, he was doubtful. This week, is it improved?
Of course, it's better than doubtful. So, what's between questionable and doubtful? That's what it is. Yeah, it's between those two.
When did Jaren suffer his injury? Was it during that?
I think it was on that touchdown run. Yep. And so we're just still going to evaluate him. And I think I said this in the post game is that I just want him to be healthy and his life is all that matters to me right now. And we'll just go with what our medical. We have a really good medical staff, and I trust them, and with the mindset that we'll take care of Jaren first.
Les, you just mentioned on the Coordinator's Corner show that after the USF loss, you took a bigger role on defense. It was something that they welcomed. Can you kind of describe what you've taken on in that responsibility?
Just coaching football, and just trying to get our guys in the right spot. So I think Coach Tuyaki and the rest of the coaches do an amazing job. They had some great adjustments that we made, even in this game against Utah State, and I oversee the whole team, and so I'm going to be involved in all three phases. And so, I trust those guys, and whatever I can do to help out and help us win games, I'm going to do.
What are your thoughts on how Aaron has handled these quarterbacks? And essentially he's had three quarterbacks ready to go and not miss a beat when they've come in.
Yeah, I've been around A-Rod for a long time. We were teammates and friends, when we played here at BYU and worked together for most of our coaching lives, So I have a lot of confidence in him, and I've seen him work. I've seen the relationship that he has with his group and with his position groups, and I've seen how they all work together. And that's what you're seeing right now. Collectively, they're doing a great job, and whether guys can play or not, they're involved in the game plan and involved with their feedback, and it's been a really cool thing to see. And A-Rod's doing what I always knew he could do. So I had a lot of confidence in him and his skills and his coaching skills.
A lot of explosive plays on Saturday from the offense. Was this kind of the offense, what they showed on Saturday, was that what you were seeing in fall camp? Because that was kind of a buzzword in camp, was those explosive plays.
Yeah, I think we were able to capitalize and make some of those plays, but I think I said it after the game that I like the way our team approached the game. I like the preparation. I like the execution, and I like that we were able to get some big plays. But that's how you got to get points on the board, So we already make some big plays on defense as well, and I just like the way these guys are starting to work right now, and just got to keep building on it, So this is another great opportunity for us this week to play a quality team, and I know it's going to be a big game for us as well. So we're looking forward to the matchup.
From the film study, what areas do you want to see improvement coming out of that win?
There's a lot of different things that we can improve on. We're going to work on that right now and put this game away real quickly. We celebrated it enough, so we're focused on Liberty today, and we'll make a few corrections, but we'll spend as less time on the Utah State game as possible because we've got to move on and get to the next one.
You have 4 years of coaching experience at an independent program. They're taking the independent route. Liberty is. What's it like? Seeing them as they, as you've looked at them, and they're taking a journey that you've been dealing with as a coach, just as far as being an independent.
Yeah, I think they had a vision of what they wanted to get accomplished, and moving into the FBS category of competing and as an independent. The best thing that they're doing is they're winning games, So they. Right now, they're efficient, and they have a lot of talent and a lot of talent in the skill position, especially too. You see a lot of speed and athleticism, and so I think they have an exceptional receiver. So and their quarterback, they've been around. The quarterback's a senior now, and you can see he's a seasoned player. He's the same guy that went into Baylor and led that team to a win. When he was a sophomore, I believe. So. it seems like there's a lot of good leadership on this team, and from their head coach and also from their staff. And then you're seeing that there's a good connection with him and his receiver. And so, I think Calvert's going to cause some issues for us, but luckily we've been able to go against some really good quarterbacks. I think he'll fit right into what we see from a lot of different people. And I think that receivers, they have some really big size receivers and with the great ball skills, and they have some really fast and athletic guys that can run around too, and a big old line. So defensively we have to be ready, and then defensively they have guys that can make plays, and they have a lot of athleticism. So we're going to have to try to, we have to work hard and be good in all three phases and try to get the result that we want.
Along those same lines, is there kind of like an inherent respect for Liberty because, like you guys, they also have an honor code, kind of hold themselves to a high standard on and off the field? Just maybe speak to them.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities. I know that's something that they have as an honor code as well, and so I think it's going to be a fun game. I know they're kind of new into the independent stage, and new to this division. So they've played some really tough teams. They played Syracuse and they played Rutgers and P5 schools right away, and I just know that coaching staff, and you look at the experience that's on that coaching staff, and you marry that with the players that they have and the talent that they have and the confidence that they have, especially after this last week. I think that we're gonna have to be ready for this, and then our guys got to keep improving.
Have you crossed paths with Hugh Freeze?
I have, yeah.
Circles?
Yeah, I've been. We were, we see each other quite a bit on the like conventions and things like that. But we were at a coaching event this summer together, and I got to spend a lot of time talking to him and other coaches, and you could see the level of just knowledge in the game of football. So and you look at his coaching staff; they've got tons of experience. So this is going to be a good matchup for us.
What do you think the team, because the team looks significantly different for a lot of different reasons than what it started out this year, injuries, things like that. Where do you think the team has evolved the most at this point of the year from where it started at the beginning of the season?
Other players, I think the connection that they have with each other keeps getting better and better, and the belief that they have in each other it's impressive. So I've loved the leadership from this team, but it's not just the upperclassmen; it's everyone that's kind of bought into each other and they believe in each other. Even when things were looking really rough, these guys had each other, and that's the wonderful thing about adversity. Sometimes you're allowed to know who actually has your back and who's there for you, and these guys are enjoying each other's company and having a lot of fun, and they're working really hard, and I'm looking forward to seeing how hard they work this week to get this win for this weekend.
How do you describe Baylor Romney? He doesn't come off as kind of the quarterback personality type like maybe you've had in the past.
Well, I don't know. He's handsome and he's tall, and so that's a quarterback type, right? And he's confident, but I think that he's really humble and he's a great teammate. And the guy that you see right now that enters the field whenever he plays, he handles himself with such professionalism. It's amazing, and it's just nice to know that you can always have that guy ready to roll. And we have a room full of quarterbacks that can play, so I'm just glad that those guys, they answer the call whenever their number is up there, and they're ready for it. And I just love the poise and the composure that he's showed. But I mean, he's been the same guy when no one really saw him take the field. He's been that same guy every day. And if you watch after practice, he's always throwing to his brother after practice, doing extra work. And we have to end practice pretty early because we have a lot of guys that want to stay out there and do extra work, and that's something that's a huge indicator that this team works hard. They do a lot of the extra time that's not required of them, both on the field and also in the film room.
How has Zach kind of tackled the recovery on with his thumb injury? What's like his work ethic? What's he been doing?
Oh yeah, he's been involved. I mean, all those guys are involved with it and in tune with what's going on with the team. So they'll be around as much as they can and in the quarterback room and on the sidelines helping them out. And Zach didn't travel, but he was at the game and was able to to help out. And whenever Jaron was out and he was on the sidelines helping out as much as he can. So they're going to relish the role that they've been given and try to maximize as much as they can with it. Joe Critchell's done an amazing job too in being ready. So I think it's been nice that those guys have such a great approach to it. But I think the whole team has taken that that mentality of be ready when your number's called.
What does that say about recruiting, that you're able to get guys like Baylor, but you also mentioned Joe and guys to kind of build that depth to get into the program and build that quarterback depth for when things go wrong like this?
I just know that I just never want to go without a quarterback, and I know we spend a lot of time on that position, but it really goes for every position group that you just don't want to be down guys, So I think that you have to, in order to get them ready, you have to develop them, but you also have to get them in the right mindset, and you have to get the type of personality that's ready to play and will do whatever they can to help us win, and probably pays more attention and does extra work on their own because they're not going to get the amount of reps. I mean, the fact that Baylor is able to do what he does right now with the limited amount of reps that he's received from fall camp to now, it's amazing, and that's a lot of his own individual work and how much he does stuff on his own, because you only have so many reps in practice and even in the film room. And so to have these guys, and it's not just him, but to have players that are involved in trying to get better watching someone else, that's huge. That's huge for us, but it takes an extreme amount of discipline and hard work and belief in themselves to be ready.
Of the guys that have redshirt years available, who's in the best position to maybe compete for some playing time down the stretch run and still maintain their redshirt year?
We're still hoping to get Troy Warner and Chris Wilcox back, and I think we were trying to keep some of our freshmen in a redshirt mode, but I think to look at most of the freshmen are still in play to keep their redshirt on. I think George Udo is the only one that's kind of got past that moment now, so we're just going to play him. And but for the most part, I think the other guys are still safe on their year, their redshirt year.
Dimitri Gallo's played 4 games. Is he going to redshirt the rest of the way, or?
We don't know yet. We're still trying to figure that out. That's kind of all up in the air right now as we look at our depth and you look at the emergence of Shimon Willis and others that have stepped up in the position, and even with the movement of Diane going to safety, we still have the flexibility to move them back and forth if we want to.
As an independent program, you guys play a lot of programs each year you never played before. Are there any challenges to that facing a team like Liberty this week, first time ever?
I think it's the same thing goes for both teams, So I know that we've been independent. We really only play the 3 teams pretty much on a annual deal, right? But the rest of it, it's this is the first time Tennessee saw us and the first time we saw them. So I don't know if it really matters.
You played a lot of sophomores and freshmen. We've talked about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How do you evaluate their progression as those guys? Because at this point in the season, a lot of them are seasoned. They've played a lot of games. So how do you kind of evaluate how they're progressing?
I think the best way to evaluate is to see how well prepared they are, and not just on the field. I think there's a lot of great athletes that can run around, but speed does nothing for you on the field if you're running the wrong way. So I think for us is to make sure that mentally they're ready and that they're up for the challenge, and for us it's to see how they really want to take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of them. And for the most part, we have a lot of guys that are just ballers and want to get in there and show that they can make a play.
You've done a lot. We've talked before also about the 3-man front that you've used defensively quite a bit. Used it quite a bit against Utah State. Puts a lot of pressure on those 3 guys to make things happen and be disruptive. What have you seen from their development just as they've taken on that challenge of being the main point of attack guys?
Well, I think it's hard, to be sitting in that spot and have guys. You're basically asking for a double team, and in some cases with Kyrus a triple team. But if you're looking at 3 versus 5, there's going to be one that's going to be one-on-one. You better win. And I expect if we ask the 3 guys to disrupt the timing of the pass and stop the run, then they got to do it. That's the challenge. They can help the team win if they get that done. And obviously, we can do things as a coaching staff to make sure that we're in the right place to win. But at times, it's not going to look pretty. But if we can stop teams from scoring, and I look at the stats, and everyone's like, "Well, there's so many yards." Well, when were those yards being done? If you look at the last 2 drives or last 3 drives, I thought we were doing the right thing and playing smart football. But I also look at the trade-off and the turnovers that we were able to force. 5 turnovers and one turnover on downs, which is basically 6 turnovers. I like the math in that, and I like the fact that it's hard to win games when you only score 14 points.
Last couple questions.
If any players like Kiefer or Tristan Hodge, have they been rolled out as season-ending injuries, or is there
No.
still hope that they're going to be back?
No, Mitch, but nice try. But you guys just have to trust me that when they're out for the year, I'll tell you, right? And so, which means that if they come back for the bowl game or whatever, it doesn't matter if they're back for one game, then that's what it is right now. And right now we're not bowl eligible, and so I'll make it easier for you. We're not bowl eligible yet, right? And so we're trying to get there, so they're still available to play at least the last game. But hopefully we're getting them back this week, and we'll see. I think Tristan's pretty close, and I think Kiefer's pretty close, so we'll see.
What went into the decision to have Keanu go to guard and then keep Blake at right tackle?
I think Coach Grimes and Coach Mateos worked it out, and then the guys competed. We talked about competing all the time, and Keanu's he's familiar with playing guard, so it's interesting. Our players can play a lot of different positions at O-line, especially, and that's a huge compliment to the way Coach Grimes and Coach Mateos helps those guys prepare, and also great for all five of those guys to know how to play right and left stance, and also they can play a lot of different positions. I mean, we have James Empey who can play all five positions on O-line, and Tristan Hodge can do the same, but there's a lot of those guys. Keanu can play four because he doesn't snap the ball, but that helps out when you can try to get the best five on the field, and we felt like moving Keanu at guard would be a good, give us the best chance, with the competition that we saw all week.
Anything else?
What's allowed Blake to succeed like he has to this point? Is it 18 years old, probably underweight?
Yeah, but he's a fighter, and he works hard. I mean, this guy's not new to success and competition. He's explosive. So you look at the things that he's done as a track and field athlete. He's won state and I think javelin, discus, and the shot put. And if there was a hammer in Utah, he would win that too. So I think he's done it for a couple years. And then you look at the way he played basketball and his attitude. He's dunked on a lot of good players. And guys that are playing in college football this year, he's dunked on them. So he's not afraid to compete. And he has All-American parents that are athletes themselves. So, I mean, his mom's probably one of the best athletes, female athletes to ever play at BYU. So, and his dad's one of the toughest guys I ever met. So you kind of think that would rub off on their kid. So I think he's loving playing football and playing O-line, and it's a new position for him. And being 6'8" and 300 pounds can help out too.
All right, thanks. Last question.
Sorry, Brett. A couple weeks ago when you guys were essentially going through the rough patch, you said you like to coach whether it's good or bad. So now we've got 2 big wins in a row. It's good right now. I guess my question is, has anything changed?
No, I mean, I think I mentioned also we know what we're playing for, right? And with the limited amount of games that are left and the time that we have left with these seniors, I think focusing on that little time we have left, I think you take it for granted when you have 10 games or 11 games left, but knowing that you're on the last third of the season, and trying to earn a right to play one more game, the sense of urgency has got to be there, and still playing with a chip on our shoulder and creating an opportunity for our guys to play at their best. That's the key that we're trying to get here. And as a head coach, I got to make sure to give them that environment where they can thrive and get better.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
Kalani.